With me today, I have Rainbow, Boris, Mirama, and Bunsen Gyro. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves real quick, starting with you, Rainbow. Do not introduce your character, though.
Hello, my name is Rainbow, and I used to play Razzmatazz and Shenanigans before they died.
Before they stupidly ran into a man-eating tree. After
And
watching
Zombie
Deranged
Tree.
get speared through the chest. And Boris.
I'm Boris, and I play Furlough Stabkins. No fancy intro this week.
And Mirama.
I'm Mirama. I play the monk Sakapuno, who likes to punch things, and he can sing, and I am ready to choke a bitch this week.
And lastly, we have Bunsen.
Hi, I'm Bunsen. I play Lulu, and Lulu is hoping she is not said bitch.
Alright, so far, I think Sakapunto and Lulu, you need to pick your characters.
No,
Yeah.
mine's still downloading files, apparently.
Oh,
yeah,
is it?
same
Okay.
for some reason.
Just to make
Oh,
sure,
okay.
we're at level 10, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I did
Okay.
update Fantasy Grounds, by the way,
Oh, good.
but it's still downloading files. It's been stuck here for like a minute or two.
Oh, alright, well, you guys recall, are you both able to move on if I just, if you recall the map from last time?
I do. I'll be good.
Okay.
Roughly.
Alright, so Bunsen, just real quick, there's that central room with the tree, and then there's that left hallway with the, like, altar table with the blood all over the walls and stuff, and then there's that tube that you guys were in. And then on the right side of the tree room is a little hallway with 3 doors, one at the end of the hallway and then 2 on the sides of the hallway that Sakapunto was trying to bust down when we ended last time. Also, Sakapunto had just barely shouted across the room, saying that the doors were locked or something. I forget what you shouted, but
I
it
think
woke
I
up the
shouted
tree.
about the doors being locked.
And the tree woke up and it's like shaking its branches as it wakes up, and you guys are now gonna have a hard time getting around that tree. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I don't think we were in combat, so there's no turns right now. So, Sakapunto, you're still over there trying to get through one of those doors, and the rest of you are out in that hallway. Deranged character Kairon is with us, and so is Freya. They're just going to kind of be in the background there. And then Fitz is also over here on the left side.
Is the tree alive or dead?
The tree is still alive. You guys were able to slow it down with some icy stuff, and then once we stopped doing that, it came back to life and is now just, it can't move, but it's definitely ready to swipe at you if you go by.
Could you bring the map back up, please?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. You guys all able to see that except for Mirama?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Do you guys do anything? Anyone want to try anything? Sakapunto, you are over by the doors. Furlough, you're over by the altar table. You guys did have a long rest to refresh all your spell slots.
Yeah, so I remember I was just trying to, like, I was wondering if I could speak to the tree. That very clearly isn't working. So
Yes.
Lulu takes a step back and goes like, "Alright, well that didn't work. Let's freeze it."
Let's what?
Freeze it.
Oh, freeze it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that might be what we need to do.
As you guys recall, you flipped through the book and you found out that you guys all need to try and stand at the 5 points of the pentagram with clear minds, with calm, clear minds, in order to end this spell that has brought this demon tree into your world. I can do my best to draw the pentagram if you guys want to see the pentagram. It's something like... something like that.
I mean, Furlough's the only one that has ice spells, I think.
I believe that is true.
So, this is your show, buddy.
Alright. So, going to go ahead and start slinging Chromatic Orb.
Okay.
Lulu's gonna step out of the way.
And so if you see Fitz follow you, Lulu, back out
Ignore
into
that.
the tube here.
Okay. Wrong button. Alright. And since it's stationary, is this advantage
Oh yeah,
on roll to hit?
yeah, for sure.
Okay,
That
so
easily hits.
yep. So he's going to take.
The
Trying to find
pentagram
it
is on
here.
fire again, by the way. I believe I described last time it came back to life.
All right, so that's going to be 12 points of cold damage.
Okay, so you want to describe what happens when you fire the chromatic orb?
I throw my hand. Furlough throws his hand out, and you see a cold sphere, only about like 4 inches large. But then it starts forming, and you see like a frosty, icy effect take
Nice.
shape in it, and then it fires off and hits at the base of the tree.
Okay, the base. All right, so this icy orb shoots across the room. You guys feel a chill as it goes by. Fitz even like rubs his shoulders a little bit as he's a little cold as this orb goes by, and it hits the base of the tree. It instantly puts out all the fire around the base of the tree, and slowly the fire around the pentagram goes out, and the tree is visibly slowed. The ice creeps up the trunk of the tree just a little bit, and the tree can still move, but he's definitely slowed, and you hear it groan.
All right, time to fire one a little bit higher up the trunk.
Okay. Oh no. All right, so this one goes shooting past the tree and hits Sacapunto behind it. And Sacapunto, you feel a very sharp chill kind of shoot up
And
your
that
upper body as this orb hits you.
Ouch.
you want
God,
So-
I'm glad I
to
stepped
roll
out
the
of the way.
damage?
even though on hit here, let's say
Twice.
because that still is a 13 on the roll to hit.
Oh, did you not roll from the sheet?
No.
Oh, how did we get 7 then?
But weren't they both nat ones?
Yeah, they were both
No.
nat ones.
So
was
7
wondering-
dropped 1.
Oh, you're right. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the
So
graphic showed 2 1s. You're right, Rainbow. That's what I thought too. Okay. So 7 plus 6.
plus 6. Yep.
Oh, okay. And yes, that hits. So sorry, my bad. I thought it was double ones.
An ouch.
So
Okay,
I
so-
just had a quick thought that I'd like to introduce is maybe a special sound when someone rolls double ones.
All right. So that's 17 cold damage, kind of more in the middle of the trunk.
Okay. All right, so that hits right in the middle of the tree. The tree's moving. It almost tries to like slap the orb away, but it can't move quickly enough. And this time the orb impacts dead center, and you just hear the ice kind of as it grows over the tree, and the tree is completely frozen solid momentarily. One of its little branches at the top twitches just a little bit, and a tiny little bit of ice pops off, and it does a little shatter just off this one little branch. You kind of you hear it crackling, trying to struggle underneath the ice.
All right. And then I'll aim one more up high.
Okay.
Let's get ice this bitch.
Just
Sacapinto,
make
I
sure
see
you're
you
careful where you
joined.
shoot that.
All right. And I forgot to roll from the sheet, so 9 to hit.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, that hits.
So it will now take an additional 12 cold damage.
Okay. All right. So this orb impacts among all of its frayed branches up at the top, and the icy chill just immediately it recaps that one branch where the ice kind of started to crack off of it. And you get a nice little shiny sheen as the ice goes over the entire tree and all of its little branches. And it is now encased in ice for the moment, and it can't move at all.
All right, everyone, let's get in positions. Everyone on a corner.
Fitz
Where
goes.
I'm at.
Fitz very cautiously goes over to the tree and stands on this corner. I've got this corner!
Lulu goes past Lulu, or goes past Fitz and goes to this corner up here.
Okay, and then Kayron follows up, and he's got this corner down here.
Can I see what's going on from where I'm at?
Yeah. Can you not see the map still?
Okay.
I keep trying to share it, but it's
I
not
don't know
showing
if.
you.
No, I got the
thing.
map. I'm just saying, can my characters see what they're doing from?
Oh yeah, you can see right into the. You're right there. It's not very far.
All right, I'm gonna walk over and stand in the other corner.
Okay. All right. So as soon as you do, you guys see like little lines of purple emanating through through the away from the points that you're standing in on the lines of the pentagram. All of you, you see these lines except for Fitz. He's standing there kind of shaking, and he's just like, oh, oh.
Fitz,
Can
you have to relax in order for this to work.
Can
I'm
Lulu-
trying.
After
I'm
your-
trying.
could I like stretch over an arm and like pat him on the shoulder, try to calm him down?
You can certainly try. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stretch out an arm to pat him on the shoulder.
Okay. Roll a performance check for me.
Okay. Let's see here.
To change his mood, could that also be a persuasion?
I got a 6.
I guess yeah. You could roll persuasion, sure.
It'll be a 6.
Okay. All right. So as you reach over, he's just kind of shaking, just kind of staring at the tree, and you touch him with your arm, and he's like ah, and he jumps up in the air a little bit as he sees your arm coming from the left. He's like thinking the tree is gonna get him, and
Oh.
you startle him. And he goes, "Why would you do that?"
I'm trying to calm you down. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
You calm me down by scaring me?
No, sure, I pat you on the shoulder.
Oh. And then right as he says it, Freya picks him up and says, "Move out of the way." And then Freya stands at the point. And she says, "All right, let's do this." And then the purple emanates out from her corner and interlocks with all the rest of yours. And instantly the ice on the tree begins to melt away from the bottom upward. And the ice just starts to crack, and then it almost turns to steam as it melts off the tree. And then you watch as the trunk kind of starts to turn black, and then it starts to turn to ash, and the whole of the tree starts falling down onto this ash trunk and turns to ash in the middle of the pentagram and disappears.
So now it's just a big ash hole.
Uh-huh.
Do we see anything in the remains of the ash? Could I investigate that?
Sure. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
All right, I'm gonna approach the ash and try to investigate.
Okay.
Does anyone want to assist me?
Sure, I'll help you look for goblin bits.
So do I get to roll with advantage?
Yes.
All right. Investigation. 14.
Okay. You rummage around in the ashes of this tree, and you don't really find anything. You find just a few like bones and teeth and stuff in there. Mostly they look like they're from the dogs that were ripped apart before. You don't really find much else.
So many feet of dog, so little remaining.
Did you see that was the title of that
tree.
episode?
Very efficient tree.
Gross.
All right. I am going to walk back over to the doors I was at. Whoops.
Over here.
I didn't mean to draw that up. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go investigate as well.
Okay.
So I remember I had checked them before I screamed and woke the tree up, and they were all locked. So I think I want to go to this door in the middle, and I want to try to break it down. Or I want to try. Yeah, I think I want to just try to break it down.
Okay. As you do, you catch the eye of. So the door has like a little tiny window at the top, like just a little tiny little square window thing. It has bars in it. And as you approach the door, you look and you lock eyes with some creature behind there, so you can't tell what it was. You just saw an eyeball, and then it vanished from view really quickly.
Ooh. Okay, so I freeze for a second. And who's right behind me? Is it just
Uh, Lulu, are you right behind her or him?
Sure.
Okay. So
so?
Lulu's right there.
I'm going to turn to Lulu and I'm going to point to the door and I say, "Somebody's in there."
And Fitz is
Huh?
like, well, it's probably that orc that got away.
Is the door locked?
I sent you a message, Chef.
Hey guys, having
Oh.
an issue with the locked door?
Well, yeah, the door's locked and I think somebody's in there. Should I?
I am pretty good about getting past locks.
Should we knock first?
No.
Okay. I'm going to stand back and motion towards the door, as in, like, go ahead, it's all yours.
Something tells me they're not going to answer it willingly.
Well, that's why we take this lock out of the way. I mean, do I have to think of everything?
I'm going to stand to the side. Go ahead, it's all yours.
He was answering
Right.
Secapunto asking if we should knock.
All right. So I'm going to up here. First of all, I'm going to make a stealth check because I'm going to try to do this sneaky.
Okay.
Are you sure you didn't hear us talk about it? Oh!
Nice. All right. So
Yeah, that's a
they-
33 on stealth.
Bunsen does have a point. You guys did talk about it before you tried to be stealthy, so they might have heard something, but they definitely aren't hearing you try to actually do your work.
All right. So then, which skill is it to use my thieves' tools?
I think it's performance.
And then I do get double my proficiency added on to when I'm using them.
Yes. Shit.
Oh.
All right. So.
Well, you nailed one of the checks.
You very skillfully insert the I forget what the tool is called in the thieves' tools that you open locks with, but you very skillfully insert the prongs of the lock picking tool, and they don't hear anything. And then as soon as you do, and you start to twist, it snaps off in the lock.
This is what I get for the gnome built tools.
All right, so right as you are trying to figure out what happened there, Lulu, you lock eyes as you're looking around with another eyeball in the door behind you there, like to your left.
Oh, through the square window?
Yes. And again, the eyeball goes out of view. You hear like a little gasp, like as he sees you seeing him.
Did I see the color of the eye?
No, that would be too much detail for how quickly it happened.
Okay. Is the window, is it like covered up with glass or anything, or is it an open?
No, it's a very small window, maybe say like 5-6 inches square, and has like 3 bars going down the middle of it.
Is it bright enough in there for me to be able to see inside with any amount?
No, it's dark, which is why you can't really see anything except for when something's right up against it.
Am I still holding a torch?
Yes.
Okay. Could I fit the torch in there?
I'm sure you could, yeah.
All right. I'm wondering if I could like slime my head into the hole and greet whoever's on the other side, like, "Hi."
Slime my
Terminator
head.
up in this shit.
Roll
but like
me-
also have my torch in there to be able to see.
Okay. All right. So roll me a performance check.
Okay. 20.
All right. So you are easily able to. You stick the torch through one of the bars. It takes a little bit of kind of wiggling it around to get it through there, and then but it goes through, and then you're able to follow up with by you sticking your head in there, I assume.
Yep.
All right. So your head squashes down to fit through one of the bars, and then reforms on the other side. And
right when I do that, I want to say like, "Hi."
Okay. Alright, so your head appears on the other side of this room, and you suddenly see this orc in there, and he's staring back at you, kind of just. He almost looks scared and but also like super angry at the same time. And you stick your head through, and you say hi to him, and he immediately pulls out an axe and chops down on your head. Let's see here.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pull back. Like, oh, whoops.
Alright, the axe goes straight through your face, and just kind of it slices your face in half, and then your face goes back together, and it hardly does any damage to you at all. It's not even worth tracking. As you pull your head back through, and he just says, "Leave me alone! I'm just doing my job."
I'm gonna say, what is your job? That was pretty rude.
And he's like, I take care of the portal.
The portal?
What portal?
He said, just leave me alone.
I
gonna-
attempt to persuade. I kind of interject and attempt to persuade. You really have nothing to gain by holding out at this point. We have you trapped in a room, and I have fire.
Roll
I think
a
that'd be more of a
persuasion check.
Sounds a little more like intimidation to me.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, roll me intimidation. I think that makes more sense.
Ouch.
$19.
Alright. So,
Nice.
being trapped in a little room where he was hoping to just hide until the tree ate you, realizing that you guys definitely outnumber him, he relents, and he just says, Okay, just I'll tell you what you want to know, and then we go our separate ways.
A thought's gonna occur to me. I'm gonna say to him, "Are you working for a black spider?"
Of course, I'm working for the Black Spider. Are you dim?
Well, that's kind of rude. Maybe not entirely untrue.
Where do you think you are?
Hello, nice to meet you. And I stick my hand through the gap to shake his hand.
I said, where do you think you are?
Oh.
My rapier's gonna be at Uranus pretty soon here, or answer the question.
What question? I already said I worked for the Black Spider. Are you all dim?
At that, I'm gonna say, is the black spider forcing you to work for him because he has your family at stake or something?
Yeah, that's it. My family's at stake.
I definitely want to try to roll like perception.
Yeah. That
insight.
feels.
Oh, insight. Okay, yeah, I definitely want to roll against
I'm going
that.
to assist
Okay.
because Furlough spells bullshit.
All right, roll insight then.
Would we just each roll insight, or?
Yeah, I don't think he can help you, right? That just seems like one that wouldn't make sense. So yeah, you can both roll
Yeah.
insight.
Okay.
18.
5.
Lulu's like, "Yep, that makes sense to me." and Furlough, you're like, you immediately realize that's complete bullshit. He's clearly like, just trying to go with the flow and hide his real motivation for working for the Black Spider.
Orc,
Well,
you had better come clean. What's your motivation, and what do you know? Or else, I turn your entire room in there.
They're paying me, okay? They're paying me a lot.
at that, I'm gonna say, well, you know, If you help us, I bet you get a bunch of fame for saving the world.
Fame? I don't need fame. I just want money.
Fame comes with fortune, usually, right?
True.
And he's gonna basically destroy the entire planet at some point here too, right? So your money's kind of worthless.
What do you mean? He needs this planet.
Why would he?
He got all the resources of this planet at his disposal.
Yeah, but you kind of already blew it up.
You really don't know where you are, do you?
Nope.
So enlighten us before I turn you into a charcoal briquette.
All right, and as you say that, you hear a sort of meek voice come from the door that you were trying to lockpick for Loa. It comes through the bars, and he just says, "I can tell you,
Who are you?
Rainbow. You're up. That's you."
Oh, my name is Salem.
Same voice.
I didn't mess that up. Oh, my name. No, let me do it again.
You have one voice, Rainbow. You do it well.
Oh, my name is Salem.
Well, nice to meet you, Salem. What are you doing in there?
Well, I thought I'd take my vacation here. I'm a prisoner. What do you think I'm doing here?
You're sassy. I kind of like that. So, why are you in here?
I stole some kind of rock from them, and they want it back. Meow.
Oh, Lord.
I love it. That's great.
A rock, eh?
Yeah, some kind of colored rock.
Oh. And do you know where they put this rock, or do you still have it?
I hid it. I'm not telling them. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling anyone.
Well, I mean, you're almost in luck because we are probably the one group that can get you out of there. And I'm guessing you have no love for the Black Spider and his crew at the moment.
No, in fact, I like to kill the son of a bitch.
Well, what do you think, guys? Shall we pick up another wayward straggler?
Want me to punch the door open? Sakapuno cracks his knuckles.
Meanwhile,
Let me stand out of the way first, well out of your way, because I've seen what happens when you swing wide.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to make friendly small talk with it work.
You better. You hear the orc shout through the door at the other door, and he's like, "You stupid tabaxi! You better not tell them anything."
I yell into the door. I say, "Stand back!"
I stand back.
And I go for a nice, big, hard bugbear punch.
All right, go ahead and roll your attack.
All right. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Actually, you know what? For stuff like this, I'm just going to have you do a raw strength check.
Okay. I could do that.
She likes it raw.
Alright, so you slam into this door, and it doesn't quite open, but it definitely caves in a bit, and the wood of the door splinters as you shoulder... Are you shoulder slamming it, or are you punching it?
I said I'll put my weight into it. I'll shoulder slam that fucker.
Alright, so you shoulder slam into it, and you hear it crack. The frame around, that's holding the bars in place, that little window kind of is all warped now, and the bars fall out, but the door is still on its hinges, and it's still lashed.
Alright, I lean back and give myself a little flex and get ready, and it's shoulder slam it again.
Okay, another strength check.
Yep.
All right, and this time you slam through the rest of the door. The hinges pop off. The door goes flying into the room and kind of hits the floor right in front of the bed. And Salem is up on the bed.
I just I wave. Hello.
I wave back.
To see if anybody comes in after me. Anybody? You just gonna let the bugbear introduce?
Oh, I can't control my character, by the way.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Can you now?
Yep.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm actually a little more curious about what might be through this door down here. So I would like to do the torch and head thing through this window.
Okay, roll a performance check.
And today was the second day our second character died.
I got another 20.
Alright, so you peek in there, and you see an empty cell.
Do I see anything else in here?
No, there's nothing else. Just a bed and it's just an empty little room. Each of these rooms has like old blood stains and shit, though.
So I got a question. How do these rooms work? Right here in the corners.
There are doors in there. I just didn't draw them, but there's doors between the rooms.
Okay, so they're like not in my room, but they're right.
Yeah, here I can draw them. Let's see.
You don't have to draw them just so long as I know where they are.
There's
Just
a
trying to
little
figure out
door
which-
here, door here, door here, and a door here.
I I look at we're gonna say what would you like to know?
And Fitz approaches behind you. Sacapunto comes into the room meekly.
I extend a hand for a handshake, and I say, "I'm Sakapuno from the Sword Coast. What's your name?"
I'm Salem from what was the name of that planet again?
Terra.
Karaka.
Terra.
Terra.
The United States of Terrica.
Terrica.
Yes,
Fuck yeah.
led by Donald Trump.
I've been held here since I took this stone, and it's very important to them.
Fitz, he kind of perks up now that he's hearing you talk, and he just says, "What stone might that be?"
It was multicolored. It was like a crystal, and I took it.
Multicolored. Was it translucent?
Was it, Chef?
Yes.
Yes.
Was it a Chaos Emerald?
Well,
You mean the Chaos Emeralds?
It didn't turn him into hypersonic, though, so.
You feel like it gotta go fast?
Fitz just says, that sounds familiar. Was it, why did they want it back so bad?
I don't know, but all kinds of things went crazy with the portals after I took it.
The portals? What portals do you speak?
The one I jumped through to get the place, and I took the crystal, and I jumped right back through as it closed.
You don't mean one of those rifts?
Yeah, one of those rifts.
Like the ones that just open in thin air?
Yeah, they started coming up right after I took the crystal.
I see. How did you get here?
Well, I hit it, and I skinned out where I hit it, and they caught me.
And they brought you here?
Yeah, to interrogate me.
You know what this place is for?
It's kind of a prison, I guess.
Let's see.
This is the only room I've seen.
What is your passive perception, Furlough? 19.
19.
Okay. All right. You see, as you're standing back here listening to them talk, you see the door where the orc is slowly creak open ever so slightly, and he tries to slip out into the hallway and sneak past you.
Alright. So trying to sneak past me provokes if he's in range, isn't it?
Yeah, you can certainly respond.
Alright. So before he even realizes what happened, my rapier is out and it's going right through his fucking back.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
I thought you were stabbing someplace else for a second.
Too small of a target even for precision damage.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah,
that hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Please fucking kill him.
okay, so that's going to be 6 piercing plus. I think I'm up to 5d6 for sneak attack damage.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yes, 5d6. Plus 17.
Nice. All right. So you stab this guy right in the back. He's oh, what'd you do that for? And he falls forward onto his arms, and he kind of catches himself, and he starts bleeding out immediately. And he's I just wanted the money, man.
Oh, yeah. At this point,
Every
I want.
every every little bit of cash you earned has its price, you goddamn son of a bitch. And then I kick him in the gut.
How much is your unarmed strike? 5.
I think so. Let me double check. Uh 1 plus strength. Yeah, it doesn't do shit.
Okay. Well, you hear one of his ribs crack as you kick him in the side, and he's already bleeding out anyway. You just hear him kind of just as he takes his last breath.
I was wanting to like charge tackle him and go like, "Hi, I think we off on the wrong foot on the foot." Yeah.
So I walk
Hi, I think-
over.
Okay.
What armor is he wearing?
He's actually not wearing armor. He's wearing a robe.
Okay.
As I see this
So-
going, I'm gonna walk up here. And
I curb stomp his head.
All right. You can go ahead and describe what you want to happen.
Furlough kind of slowly circles around him, just disdainfully glaring at this guy and all the damage he did to his friends. Furlough slowly puts his foot down and slowly rolls the guy's head over to its side, and then very quickly lifts his leg up and then stomps down full force.
Nice. All right, so you stomp down full force on his head, and just you hear his jaw kind of just come unhinged as he just the bones in his lower his jaw and his skull just kind of crunch.
Wow.
And as that's going on, I went into that room where he was, and I want to check for my stuff.
When Sakapuno hears what's going on with Furlough, by the way, he turns around and he says, "Furlough, that was brutal."
Okay, so you find a few things in there.
Bastard
Sailor.
deserved it for what he did to our friends.
You find a few things in there. You could tell he's been using this room to sleep in. And so he's got actually some lockers full of stuff. They're not really, they're more like cupboards, actually. And one of them definitely contains all of your stuff. So you find a mace and a spear, and I forget what else you had on you. Let's see. You find your chainmail armor, your rations, your shovel, tinderbox, all the stuff that you've got in your inventory. You find it all in there.
And I come back out, and I'm gonna.
As soon as you come back out, Fitz turns to you and he just says, "How did you get here? Not I don't want to know why they brought you here, but how? Like physically, how?
Well, some guys picked me up and brought me here.
Brought you here on what?
Some kind of spaceship, or some kind of magical thing.
How big was it?
It was about as big as a horse and carriage, but without horses.
So like a shuttle.
Yeah, I guess that's what you'd be calling that.
They've got shuttles here, everyone.
Hooray! What's a
Hopefully.
shuttle?
It's a. You remember when we turned Shenanigans into a ship?
I do.
He was a shuttle. Except this one's not made of Signvolk.
I shudder a little bit.
Wait, can we get a description about what Rainbow's new character looks like?
You want to describe it, Rainbow?
I was gonna go with a picture that kind of looks. It's kind of like a cheetah cat person.
Clearly unsatisfied with that answer. So I imagine you're tall.
Yeah, I'm tall and slim, but muscly.
Pick one.
So we talking like Khajiit here?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it.
So, do you guys want to explore further?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Salem, do you know where the portal is that they brought you through? Oh wait, no, they said that's right. They said a shuttle.
So Salem, you recall? Yeah, you got here by shuttle. So I'll just. You want me to recount your story as if you were recounting it to them?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So he was captured after he took some crystal, and then he took the crystal. So he went through this large facility that was basically chewing up his homeland. His home planet is full of jungle, and this facility was built by a bunch of orcs and goblins, and they started harvesting this jungle, and just they would bundle it all up, put all the resources on a conveyor belt that would go through this big giant portal at the back. And so he snuck in there, snuck through the portal, and he found himself in this central like nexus of portals. This big circular room full of portals, and on this side, there's a bunch of conveyor belts leading away from each portal, with resources of a different variety coming from each portal and landing on this conveyor belt. And then they would all the conveyor belts would converge on a series of tubes in the middle of the room that would chutes that would take the resources wherever they need to go. And in the center of all that was a large amount of energy, multicolored energy, being beamed into this compact crystal, this multicolored crystal. And he snagged it, and as soon as he did, this shockwave kind of went outward, causing all the rifts in the room started to destabilize, and then a bunch of random rifts started appearing everywhere, and closing and opening, and just all sorts of random convergences of energies and stuff, causing these rifts to warp and ripple open. And he realized he was in danger, and he dove through the portal he came through, which was destabilizing, and it closed behind him as he made it back through. And he took this crystal and he ran off into the jungle. And then while he was in the jungle, he remembered there's a cave full of similar looking crystals, except for they weren't multicolored. That his tribe considered religiously significant. And so he went to this cave. It's at the base of a tree. Went into the cave and through this opening that's under the roots of this tree, and stashed the crystal in there. He came back out. Apparently, they tracked him to a certain point and ambushed him, and then demanded he tell him where he hid the crystal, and he refused. So they took him back to their facility. The portal is now gone, and so they interrogated him a little bit. He wouldn't break, and so they brought in some interrogators that tried to break him a little bit more. And when he wouldn't break, they took him back to the central nexus. And so Salem can recount what the central nexus looks like and what the people there are doing. Um, and while there, Salem experienced a few weird things, which I'll let Salem tell when it's appropriate for him to tell. Uh, Whenever you feel is appropriate, I mean, Rainbow. And then, but basically the whole time he's being held there, interrogated for months. And then finally, when they gave up on trying to break him, they brought him via shuttle back to this planet and kept him here. And they were going to experiment on him.
That's rough, buddy.
Have we seen in this area? Have we seen any portals or anything like that yet?
No. Well, unless you count like the center of the pentagram where the tree came from.
Oh, the center of the tree was a portal. I guess that's how it was eating things.
Well, no, because like the remains of like the bones and the teeth were still there.
Hmm.
Oh, some of them they didn't say all of it, did he?
I assume it would be one or the other.
So you guys have noticed though that the rifts that you were used to encounter have been dissipating more and more. There's not as many of them anymore. And you haven't encountered one in quite a while, not since saving Tanith through one, I think, in the first time loop. And They haven't happened again, and especially the second time loop. I don't think you've seen any rifts. Actually, yes, you did. You saw a rift that that Gundren and Sildar fell through. That's the last one I think you've seen, though.
If only we had someone to integrate.
Well, guys, what do we do? Meow.
Fitzy says, well, show us the way to the shuttlecraft.
I'm going to check this piece of shit for anything valuable and anything of use.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
What do I know about the tree? Was it there when I was brought in, or?
No. So the tree was pulled.
Nope,
Was
I
summoned.
find nothing.
The tree was summoned through a portal while you were there, and you had clear view of it in the room you were in. And so you watched as this orc performed a ritual and walked the pentagram, walked all the lines of the pentagram, and then stepped to the side, and flames erupted from the pentagram, and the center of the pentagram opened up with this like hellish portal, and this tree grew forth out of it and filled the room.
Could I try searching that guy?
Do I know which way
sure.
the shuttles are?
Yeah, you do. And you would definitely be leading them back out to that tube that they came from. So, over this way.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, so you search the guy. And other than his robes, he doesn't have much on him, but you find in one pocket that he's got this little wand-looking thing. It's made of wood.
Is it striking at all, aside from the fact it's a wooden wand?
No.
I wanna wave it in this direction.
Okay.
Like standing over here.
You wave it and it does nothing.
Neat.
I'm gonna start walking and go. All right, guys, let's go to see these horseless flying things.
Sakapuno picks up Fitz and carries him on his shoulders.
Okay. And so Fitz eagerly hops up on your shoulders.
I'm I'm probably gonna walk out with them, but I'm like still waving the wand as though I could do magic with it.
Okay. All right, so you guys all follow Salem then?
Yep.
As the party starts to walk away, I'm a little bit behind, but I take one last look at the orc on the ground. And I spit on him, and then I take a piss on him.
What the
Oh,
What? Is your character like going through some sort of crisis?
He just
Salem
he is just
sees this-
really, really hates this stupid fuck for everything he did to us. Like it's to Furlough, it's fucking personal, and he deserves all of it.
So Salem sees this and he pees on the ceiling, thinking that, not the ceiling, the wall, thinking that we're marking this as ours.
I don't think cats do that.
They sure do.
Oh, cats
Yeah, they do.
absolutely mark.
Cats definitely mark things. Yeah.
Okay.
Particularly
and even if not, then Salem the Tabaxi does.
They will do it, especially if they find other animals marking things. So this is pretty accurate.
Oh, I thought it was only dogs that did that for some reason.
All right, so Salem pees on the wall, and Fitz just says, "What are we doing? Let's go!"
And I start walking towards the exit.
Yeah, I've
Relax,
just
Fitz.
continued-
We're all quite relieved now.
I've just continued walking.
That's
with them,
nasty.
Waving my wand.
Oh, he's waving his wand. That's so bad without context.
And the other guys are waving their wands too, and look at how that turned out.
All right, so come on, guys. All right, so you guys make your way out into that tube, and Salem, you start heading up the tube, and you've been here probably about a week, waiting for them to do whatever they were going to do to you, and so you can recall where you came from, and this tube kind of goes to a fork, but it's like just like these, it's almost like a network of tunnels throughout this structure, and you recall that you came from the right fork. So
So
you
I
head.
turn around and I say, I heard the guys talking about these tunnels of tubes, these networks of tubes for the interwebs.
Jeez, I was waiting for somebody to make that joke.
Not a big.
All right, so you make your way through the series of tubes until you find this large, and you keep heading upward, kind of spiraling upward as you go through these tunnels, and you finally come out into this platform, and you see a bunch of small pyramid-shaped looking pods, all in this like hangar.
I turn to Fitz and go, oh, here's your horse-lip carriage flying things.
And Fitz just says, "It's these? These don't look like the ones I arrived on Tanith in."
You took a shuttle to Tanith?
Well, I had to get there somehow.
What did yours look like?
It looked like it was a large sphere.
Did
You
you
know,
mark it?
I really don't think it matters what geometrical thing it looks like. Does it fly? Is the real question.
Well, let's find out. And so Fitz hops off of Sacapunto's shoulders and heads over to the first little pyramid-looking pod, and he can see that there's like these little latch points on all four corners of it. And then as he looks up into the ceiling, he sees like a little square hole in the ceiling that's kind of covered up. And he says, I think these are supposed to be launched from there." And he points upward.
Capuno goes over and kind of squats next to one of the pyramid ships and says, "How do we get in it?"
Well, that's a good question. And so he starts
I wave
walking
my
around
wand
it,
at it.
looking at it.
I wave my wand at it and go, "Open sesame!"
As you do, a panel on the side of the pod slides open, and you hear a voice from inside. "Welcome."
Yay!
You got
Hey, who
mail.
are you?
It says, "Where to, Mort?"
Who the fuck is Mort? And who the hell names their kid Mort? I mean, seriously, people.
"Mort. One of you is Mort, right?" This voice says
Oh,
from inside.
no.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Okay, identity confirmed.
Furlough slaps Lulu on the shoulder. How's it going, Mort?
It's going great. Thanks, Mort.
You better mark your thingy here.
Furlough looks over at Sakapuno. Oh, hey, Mort, I didn't realize you were here.
Mort, I
Looks
did
down
not
at
realize
Fitz.
you had so many clones.
Looks down at Fitz and says, What's a Mort?"
Fitz just says, just go with it. Apparently it's working. I don't know how.
So then Sakapuno looks up at Furlough and gives a big bugbear grin and goes, Mort!
And then, so Lulu, as you go in, the voice over the speaker, which just sounds a lot like Siri, by the way, just kind of this female robot voice, sort of. It's got an artificial tinge to it. Just says, "Mort, please enter the flight stick into the flight slot."
The magic wand?
And then you're holding the wand up,
Yeah.
and she just says, excuse me, are we re-identifying the flight stick?"
Go ahead,
Yes.
go ahead and put it in there, Mort.
No
Stick it in.
thanks.
I say
And,
yes.
Lulu says no thanks to that, but enters the flight stick.
Okay, so you stick it right in the slot that's meant for it to go in, and it immediately becomes like a little lever that you can turn a whole bunch of different directions.
Ooh. I'm gonna turn it to the left.
Okay. As you do, the voice over the speaker says, "You need to launch first. Would you like to engage the escape protocol?"
I look behind me. Is everyone in here?
I think everyone's piling in. I'm gonna go ahead and erase the drawing that we have now and get rid of the fog. Oops. Let's see, delete mask. There we go. Okay, and so I'll just pile you all into a circle here. So you guys are all barely able to squeeze in. into this little pyramid shuttle. It's clearly meant for only 2 or 3 people, and but you guys are all squeezed in there, shoulder to shoulder, kinda. And the voice over the loudspeaker just says, "Mort, your weight has changed by 500 pounds."
Trying to diet.
I had extra lunch.
It was not my intention to insult you, just informing you of your status. And then the door slides closed. And the pod kind of lifts up about a couple inches off the ground and starts to hover just a few inches off the ground and goes towards the center of the room. And then as it hits the center of the room, these cables kind of come down from the ceiling and latch into these latches on the side and pull it upward. And then this little pyramid-shaped pod slides into this chamber up at the top, and then the voice comes over the speaker and just says, "Prepare for launch in T-minus 30 seconds."
Wait, where are we going?
Everyone, you might want to hold on to something.
Hold on, Fitz.
You guys are all pretty much like wall to wall anyway.
Yeah. Lulu
T-minus
asked where
20
we're going.
seconds. You asked where we're going?
No, Lulu tried to ask the voice where we're going.
Okay. So the voice responds, to the central nexus, of course.
Who's there?
A horse.
Wait, what? What'd you ask?
Lulu tried to ask who's there, like who would be there.
Oh. I am sorry, I don't understand your inquiry.
Eh.
I
kind of like shrugged.
T-minus 10
His
seconds.
head,
I looked at
and
it.
he doesn't know anything anymore.
I looked down at Fitz and said, "What's the central nexus?"
And Fitz just he's kind of looks up and shrugs a little, like does a half shrug, but then just says, "I guess that central pyramid in the center of the solar system we could see from Tanith, where we were sending energy to."
So me
Oh.
and Sakapintos both hugging Fitz really tightly, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay.
Are there any like buttons in front of me I can see aside from this driving stick?
No, just the stick. That's just the flight stick. And
Sakapuno is going to lean over to Salem though and say, "You're very soft."
Oh, thank you.
3, 2, 1. The top of the pyramid opens up, and this pod just goes flying off through the atmosphere super fast. It busts through the clouds, and you guys watch as it punches a hole through the clouds. And you guys, by the way, all the walls have now turned into a transparent kind of screen, and it's showing everything outside. So it's not glass, but it's like a screen that's now kind of mimicking glass by becoming transparent inside. And you can still see the very top of this little pyramid-shaped pod, and you can see the floor too. But
Question.
the walls are now transparent looking. What?
Have I immediately pancakized?
No. So surprisingly, you guys don't feel the inertia. So as you guys are shooting up through the atmosphere, you suddenly see the clouds part as you punch through it like a bullet, and you head out into space super fast. But it's like a soft elevator ride as far as you guys are concerned.
Hey
Okay.
guys, is it a bad thing that none of this shit surprises me anymore?
If I'm still holding the driving stick, is the stick moving itself or anything? Or
No. So it's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. You can try to move it though.
yeah, I want to try to move it to the right.
As soon as you do, the voice comes over the speaker. Autopilot engaged. Would you like to disengage?
No.
All right, Mort. Continuing to the central nexus.
I get the feeling that I probably shouldn't mess with that, so I don't mess with it anymore.
Okay. And you guys are now that you're out in orbit and you can see the solar system, you can see Tanith Station really clearly. You guys are going right by it. You can also see the moon, Omar, and you can see that there is a bunch of energy still swirling from Omar, but you don't see any coming off of Toril anymore. But you can clearly see the energy kind of building up on Omar, and right as you guys leave the atmosphere, and you're watching, you see this energy kind of form a hard candy shell, almost looking shell over Omar, and then Omar kind of instantly just collapses in on itself, and then just the shockwave shoots out from Omar and kind of impacts Toro a little bit, and then it hits Tanith Station, and Tanith Station immediately explodes into a green mist. And this shockwave is chasing right behind you guys, but you guys are going so fast it almost impacts the back of the pod, but doesn't quite hit it. And the fish just says, "No, Tanith!"
Well, this could be a problem.
Yeah, no shit.
And now you guys can see the other planets in the solar system. They're kind of far away, so it's hard to see moons and stuff, unless they were like out, kind of to the sides of the planets. But you don't see anything obvious right now as far as moons and stuff go. But you do see energy emanating from each of these planets in a big beam sent out to the central nexus. And there is one big multicolored ribbon of energy coming from where Tanith was out to the central nexus 2, and it starts to dissipate as the source is no longer emanating energy, and it just kind of blinks out of existence. All right, you guys staying on course all the way until wherever Shuttle Lady is taking you?
Might as well ride this bitch to the end.
All right, so as you guys get to the central nexus, you are surrounded by tons and tons of these multicolored structures, which you guys all at this point recognize as various different breeds of Simevolk being morphed and formed into all these space structures. And it's become clear that these are the Black Spider's favorite way to build things at this point for some reason. And even though it requires a lot of upkeep compared to just constructing something in a normal way, he still seems to want to build all these Simevolk structures. And there's a bunch of those
If
little...
I had a digestive system, I would want to vomit.
There is a bunch of those stations that are shaped very similar to Tanith, all around the perimeter of this giant, huge... It's a double-sided pyramid, so like a big diamond-shaped structure with almost like a ring of these other stations around it, around its what's the word I'm looking for? Not diameter, I guess diameter. Oh, like the equator. That's what I was looking for. It's like all around its equator, basically, and it is huge. It's not quite as big as the planets that you guys have been on, but it's close. It's pretty big. This huge diamond-shaped structure, and it is made of all sorts of different colors. It's almost like it's tiled with different Simevolk stitched together into one giant structure. And you guys end up docking at a station on the perimeter, just like it looks very similar to Tanith. Except for these stations are all connected with like almost like a walkway type thing, also made of Simevolk. And they are all, so each station has its own color, but then the walkways are separate entities because they have to travel. They're stretched across such distances. So each of the walkway between stations is its own Simevolk structure, basically.
Yeah, you know what? I am gonna vomit, but it's just me.
Okay, so you throw up a little bit of yourself onto the floor of the station that you guys are in. So as you dock into the station, the pyramid pod just kind of turns, and so its point is aimed right at the station, and then you dock into the station, and your orientation changes from where you launched, but now you're basically the diamond structure is above you now, because gravity is pulling your feet outward from that. So if you look up out the structure, you can see the diamond station now. And as soon as you guys dock, the voice just says, "You have arrived. Thanks, Mort."
Thanks, I hate it.
And then the pod is kind of whisked away by this big crane-looking thing, also made of Simevolk, and it's pulled into a big, like off through some doorway, and is presumably to some place where it stores the pods.
I look around and I wonder if their food is also made out of the slime bulk stuff.
I am ready to slap Salem already. That's a little insensitive from someone who doesn't know that you don't know.
So Salem, at this point, you recall what you heard them talking about with regard to the Simevolk structures, and you remember what you saw while you were being held here. You were being held at the Central Nexus for the majority of the time. That this is where you spent most of your time, months, being held here. You were being held inside the diamond structure itself in some room. But you recall being able to look out of your cell into the solar system, and you want to tell them what you saw?
Oh yeah, I saw some weird stuff happening with the planets. They were moving one way, then all of a sudden they started moving the opposite way, like almost in reverse.
So while he was held here, he saw the planets orbiting around the sun, which is a little ways away from the diamond structure. And he saw the planets just in their standard orbits, and then they reset, and they kind of went backward in their orbits almost instantaneously. And this happened 3 separate times while he was being held here.
Sakapuna looks down at Fitz and asks, "What do you make of all this?"
So Fitz, after hearing the whole story, he's just like, I don't know. I thought that Tanith was one of the most technologically, the biggest technological marvels I had ever seen. I'm completely at a loss for what's going on here. You say the planets reset themselves?
Yeah.
That would explain the time loop.
Ah, yes, the time loop. Did time reset for you, Salem? Do you remember time resetting?
I remember seeing it, but I didn't. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
So you remember time resetting, just like we do. Did you move where you were when this happened?
No, I stayed right in place.
We were reset back into the tavern, and it only happened once for us.
Well, I did hear the guards say something about thank God for the slime bulk every time he said it. Reset.
Is that... Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking?
What happened?
The Simevolk structures are preventing preventing the effects of the time loop from affecting those inside. I think. Wait a minute. We weren't inside a Simevolk structure. Then why do we remember?
Well, you was next to a slime bulk, were you?
Next to Lulu, and I think Shenanigans.
We weren't inside when we died.
We were next to... Wait a minute. And so Fitz thinks for a minute, and then he puts his finger up, and he's... Aha! Simevolk must have some sort of temporal properties. And he opens up that scanner thing that he has, and he starts passing it over you, Lulu, and then passing it around the room and the structure you guys are in. And then you just see a bunch of different things running across the display. And then he says, "You're right. We were next to Lulu when time reset. Lulu has some sort of anti-chronoton effect. We were able to remember what happened because of Lulu."
So what you're saying is we should start eating the slime bulk.
No, please.
They're making structures out of Simevolk so that they don't experience the effects of the time loop at all. They don't even get reset in place.
What if we just made some suits out of them?
I find this highly offensive.
Salem, I don't even know what to say to you right now. Is this not affecting you the way it affects the rest of us? You were held here for months, right?
Yeah.
Don't you just feel a little bad?
About what?
Oh my god. Fitz just moves on because he doesn't want to have this this conversation. I wonder why their time is resetting and why they have to prevent them from feeling it.
Maybe
I don't
because
know.
they keep blowing things up. The planets, the moons.
You know what? You're right. They're
I am?
blowing. They're blowing things up because of the energy that it expels. They're harnessing the energy through Seinvolk structures, and then they're doing it again.
You mean they're
Oh.
getting unlimited supplies?
They have unlimited energy because they can affect the flow of time here somehow.
How do they get the control of the time?
I don't know. That's beyond my knowledge. This is all speculation anyway.
Well, whoever's behind this, I have some very stern words and a giant sword for him.
Why you give him a gift? I don't understand.
A gift?
She says she's gonna give him a nice sword.
Rainbow, is your cat really dumb too? How are we gonna get through this with 3 kind of dumb characters?
It's not that dumb. It's just the way that he said it was. He's just gonna give us.
Can we put you back in a pod and send you to Omar?
I look around and go, I think we need to make those shirts so we don't set back in time.
Shirts? I thought you said sheets. I realize what you're saying now. Make Seinvolk shirts.
It does sound like a good merchandise plug opportunity.
This is all beginning to make a lot of sense. And Lulu, you were trapped in that lab for each time reset, so even though you wouldn't have experienced the reset, you wouldn't know any different.
Wouldn't Lulu know?
What's that?
Wouldn't Lulu know? She's a slime vault.
Lulu was for all but one time loop. Lulu was in the lab inside of a drawer.
Oh.
If she was in the lab, she probably was like somewhere where she wasn't, like the inside of another Seinvolk. Maybe if they're building everything out of Seinvolks.
Well, if time reset, Lulu wouldn't know because she's just in a drawer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Until the time reset while she was out of it.
I say let's look around and see if we can get a shirt made.
I'm gonna lightly slap him.
Go ahead. You can't just make shirts out of Seinvolk. Do you not know how these Seinvolk are being controlled by giant generators?
So I didn't slap hard enough to deal damage, enough to stop talking.
I look at Fitz. I go, look. I live in the woods and I hunt things. Am I supposed to stop hunting things to eat?
What does that have to do with anything?
Why wouldn't I use the slime Volk to help me not to go back in time?
No, you don't understand. You can't just turn a Seinvolk into a shirt. There's a giant generator holding it in this shape. We were only able to turn a smaller... We have a smaller generator. We've used it to turn Lulu and Shenanigans, rest his soul, into spaceships temporarily. But that only lasted for a little while.
Oh, that's a good plan. We can use Lulu temporarily whenever we knew what was going to come.
True. Lulu herself did move locations. She went back to the lab, and so did all the stations if they were still in orbit of the planets when they reset position.
Would we go back to the lab?
So, if you guys were inside Lulu, that's a good bet. Yeah, I would think so.
Oh, shit.
Also in the drawer, though?
Yeah, I don't know what would happen there. Guess I'll have to find out.
Just instant.
Or not.
Team
we can also not find out.
It turns out we all suffocate in walls.
You guys all materialize inside walls underground.
Just find a really interesting way to kill everybody.
Well,
it's like when you're playing a game and you're literally asked, "Hey, do you give up?" it's like that kind of instant game over.
And so Fitz just says, "Well, now that we know why they choose to make things out of Seinvolk, we need to figure out what they're actually doing here."
While we're having this conversation, are there people like walking around this area? Are there
No.
any other beings?
No, it's all empty. And there's it's very empty around this whole perimeter right now. For some reason.
Hmm.
Are there any obvious paths to go anywhere that seems important?
So you can go left or right, basically, to leave this station and go to another station. Or you can explore this station a little more. It is giant like Tanith was.
Can we take a real quick, like 5-minute break?
Sure, we can all take a break.
Yep. Because at this point, Lulu is.
Hey.
Lulu has.
You
seen
still have
a
your
lot of
voice
shit
mod
look
on, by
very
the way.
fast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's so upset.
Does he have it on? Or was it off? And you turn it back on.
I'll be back.
Okay,
I'll be back to.
same.
Like, okay. Because Lulu has very quickly seen a lot of fucked up shit. Like, Tanith was one thing, but this May Seinvolk, she wants to give a piece of her mind to someone, whoever's behind this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Same.
I never left.
You guys getting hyped for the Irishman?
What?
You guys getting hyped for the movie The Irishman?
No, I haven't heard about it.
It's got Joe Pesci in it. It's got Robert De Niro in it. It's got
Oh,
the guy
that
from
one.
yeah, the guy from Everyone Loves Raymond. I think it's supposed to be next month.
All right, I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you guys know that the kid from Home Alone has a podcast?
Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I just found that out today.
Neat. You know what it's about?
I think it's just a general whatever he wants to talk about. News and what's happening.
Gotcha.
Okay, I wrote a 16, so I am back.
What?
I just wrote a 16, so that's I am back. So what genre? Let's say the word right. What genre? You know what I'm trying to say, don't you? Movie genre. Genre. Why can't I say that word? Genres. Is that it?
What are you talking about?
The setting of the movie. It's called a. Fuck,
Oh,
I can't say the word.
I don't know.
What would you call the game? What setting would you call the game? Is it like WoW, where it's like yeah, it's medieval, but it's also kind of sci-fi as well, or
I have no idea. Talking about the setting of our campaign?
yeah.
This is just sci-fi fantasy, I guess. Yeah.
I'm just curious. Is there a setting that you'd like to explore in a later game?
Hold on, sorry.
Bunson's tricking again.
Bunsen.
What?
What about Bunsen?
I heard Bunson's opened up a can and he's drinking again.
No,
It-
that wasn't me.
It was
I had to
That
back
was
up.
Mirama.
I know. I was joking.
Yeah. Use the break wisely.
I did.
Did you get all your chores done?
All my chores.
In the
Did you
5
finish
minutes.
your errands?
I could tell the dirty details about it, but I'm pretty sure that most of the people here don't want to hear about that.
What?
It's really not like that.
Sure.
It was female problems.
Oh. Well, that's not as exciting.
So on my spell sleeping up time is guidance kind of like bardic inspiration.
What's it say?
Copy and paste it.
Is that? Do we have everyone back now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I think we're good to start then. You guys ready to start?
I'm ready.
Okay. Alright, so you guys are walking around these giant empty stations and halls, basically. Which way would you guys have gone? Right or left from on the rings?
Do I know where I'm at? Or do I recognize anything?
Um, no, you don't recognize anything here because you were held in the central structure, and apparently wherever you left from was somewhere in the central structure, not this outer ring.
Alright.
I would vote right.
You'd what? Oh, vote to go right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast guidance on myself, and then I'm gonna roll perception. I'm gonna scout the area around with my eyes and try to see what I can see.
Gotcha. Okay. So, go ahead and do your roll then.
So what's it? Inspection or investigation?
Investigation.
And that's gonna roll D4 after that. So
Okay. Okay, wait, so remind me what you're doing again. What is this spell?
I wrote it, and then it's called guidance.
Guidance. Once before their spell ends, the target can roll a d4. So that your target rolls the d4, not you.
Yeah, but why can't I target myself?
One willing creature. Can you do that? Do you know if you can do that, Boris? Can you target yourself? I would guess so, right?
It could be
For
like
what, sorry?
healing hands.
It's like guidance. You can, yeah, I guess you can
Hmm.
heal yourself. It says you touch one willing creature once before the spell ends. The target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice. It can roll the die before or after making the ability check. The spell then ends.
Yeah, he touch himself.
Okay. All right, and so what ability check are you? Just investigation. What are you looking for?
I just want to see if I can figure out which way we should go, or if there's any clues which way
Okay.
we should go.
All right, so you look and you see like partway around the ring, very faintly, there's a small tube going from the ring to the central structure. And but you see one in both directions, right and left. But the right one does seem a tiny bit closer.
I point to him. I go, that right tube seems a little bit closer to the center. That if we want to go to the center.
So as he points, you guys can all see faintly off in the distance around this ring of Simvolk structures. There is a tube connecting the ring to the central structure.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so you guys all gonna go to the right then?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, so you guys start walking down to the right. Kayron and Freya bringing up the rear. And as you walk down, you suddenly hear a voice booming through the corridors, and the voice kind of just surrounds all of you and kind of shakes the Simvolk structures a little bit as they vibrate with this voice. And the voice just says, "I was wondering how long it would take for you to find yourselves here."
I'm gonna take out
Oh.
the 9 lives dealer greatsword.
Okay. And Fitz immediately. Is Fitz on your shoulders, Sakapunto?
He can be if he wants to be.
Okay.
He's on the shoulder like a parrot.
He always wants to be, so. Alright, so
Spider monkey.
Fitz from your shoulders immediately. He just says, "Oh no, it's him, oh no!" And then as he says that, the voice booms over. Yes, Fitz. Yes, you have done your part well, my little friend. The voice booms over you
Fitz?
guys once more. And then Fitz just kind of cowers and holds onto your neck. He's like, no, no, no.
Fitz, who is this?
It's him, don't you know? It's the Black Spider.
Oh. I look over at Furlough. And I whisper, but like whisper screams, so it's not very quiet. I say, I think it's the Black Spider.
Oh,
I
good.
want to shout.
Something
I
else
wanna
to kill.
Yeah, I want to shout out like,
What sick monster makes like structures and stuff out of meat?
Meat. You think Simvolks contain meat?
no, me's like.
Oh,
M-E.
me's. Okay. and he just says, and what are you, Lulu?
I mean, I know the name of my own race, right?
Yeah, you do.
A Simvolk.
That's correct. And do you know where Simvolk came from?
Do I?
The sewer?
I don't know if Lulu knows.
I mean, you know kind of how you were formed, yeah?
And by the way, I did say that out loud.
You did find a lot of stuff in the lab about how you were formed. You said the sewer out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. No, he doesn't respond to that.
Lulu doesn't respond either.
Okay. Cat got your tongue, I see. Your cat friend seems to think that you come from the sewer. Well, I find plenty of uses for Simvolk here in my command center. Nobody says anything.
Are you
I'm
trying to
gonna-
offer him a job or something?
Well, Lulu is.
No. No, my cat friend. He's being a dick.
Well, as he's talking, can we just keep walking along, though?
Yeah, I assumed you're still walking, unless you guys are saying you stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
You guys are now well between two stations, so you're in a long corridor with no branches to it or anything.
I look at around and I go, hey, my friend's got a gift for you. Why don't you show us where you are?
Don't worry, my friends. You are headed the right way.
I'm gonna shout out.
I don't know where you are or who you are, but I'm going to liberate all these me's if it's the last thing I do.
All these me's. Well, good luck, Specimen 457. You will need it.
Where is
doesn't
he calling
need
names
luck.
now?
He's got us.
She-
Cunt.
I look around again and I go, well, can you tell us where they came from? Yeah, jerk.
Why don't you ask your friend, my fellow cat friend?
Wait, fellow.
I look at Lulu and go, where did he come from?
I'm gonna look to Fitz and wonder if he could answer.
And so Fitz catches your gaze, and he's kind of cowering in Sakapunto's hair. And he kind of takes a tighter grip of you so he doesn't fall or anything because he's all distressed. And then he's just like, Lulu was made in a lab, and so were all these Simvolk. Very good, Fitz. The voice booms through the corridor again. And now, I want you all to come to dinner tonight in the central chamber.
What are we having?
Oh, that is a surprise.
Hope it's not Slimebulk, because he seemed to do everything with Slimebulk.
Come, continue down the path you are on, and you will find the central chamber at the end of the tube that you are headed toward. I
I
must
turn
go
to
now.
Furlough. I turn to Furlough and I whisper, "I want to punch him."
You and me both. You and me both.
The voice booms again, and he just says, "Well, you are certainly welcome to try, my bugbear and Furbolg friends." And then he says, I must go, take care of some things, and prepare for our dinner." And then you hear like a as a speaker clicks out, and the corridor stops vibrating.
Can we see what's at the end of this corridor?
So it's a constant curve because it's basically a giant curve around the whole central nexus. So
Oh.
not really. You're just constantly seeing a curving corridor. You do see through the translucent walls that it continues to curve, and that periodically you're going to run through some Tanith-looking stations. I think you have one more station to go through before you hit that tube that connects the ring tube to the central nexus.
Can we run? Who wants to run?
Sure. Fitz just says, "Yes,
Show
run,
of hands. Who
run.
wants to run?
Let's get out of here. We should run back to the pod."
I'm gonna just start running toward, towards where we're going and see if everybody follows me.
Yeah, I was like Lulu was like ready to dash forward already anyway.
All right, so you guys start running down this corridor, and you make your way into another station that was very similar to the last one, and it's got the same kind of hatches on the outside for pods to land. And you do see through the translucent structure, if you pay attention, there's some rooms that are kind of filled with pods like that. And these pods are not made of Simevolk, presumably because they just need so many of them, and they can't build generators for every little pod.
Are they AirPods?
God.
Are there any beings or creatures or anything around?
Nope, still everything's empty, which is weird.
All right. And this is the station with that central tube connected to it?
So you have to go. The central tube is connected to the. Here, I'll draw it. That'll be better. Let's see. Okay, so you guys are in a station now. A Tanith station. So sort of diamond shaped with a kind of a ring around it like that. And then there's these tubes that are curving off of it like this. And the central structure is way off over here. And the tube that you're looking for is like off connected to the tube between stations. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys need to keep going that way to get to here, to get to there.
All right, we continue going that way.
All right.
The air.
Yep. Towards that tube.
All right. And so, as you guys go to leave this station, a hatch in front of you suddenly closes shut.
Can Sakapuna accidentally run into it?
Yeah, so it closes right in front of you, and you smack your face into it as it closes so fast it surprises you.
So
And
wait, I'm a little bit
Yeah, I definitely want to try body slamming it accidentally.
when you do that, Fitz also slams into the wall and oof!
Wait, I'm a little bit confused. Did we turn around, or are we still going the same way that we were supposed to meet the guy?
You're still going this way, but the hatch. Pretend this arrow is the hatch door. It's now closed over the hallway.
All right.
So after I run into this goo hatch, I smack it with my fist, open up.
Okay, and then as you are pounding your fists on that hatch, another hatch closes behind you. And then the little hangar area that's kind of off this way. So this is the station you're in is a lot bigger than I've depicted it here. It's just in a hasty drawing. But the let's see, how do I do circles again? Right there. So there's a hangar off over there, and there's a hatch to that, and that those close too. Basically trapping you kind of in this central lobby area of the station. And then suddenly the voice booms over the speaker.
Ah, good. We have you exactly where we want you.
Do you now?
Bring it, bitch.
So you guys look around for anything, or?
Yeah, sure. Let's search the area.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna search it too.
Okay. All right. So as you're looking around the room, uh, you find, let's see, Salem. You find there is a little control panel on the wall of the south wall where you came in. It's just got a few little buttons on it and a little screen. And the screen is like all static right now. And
I'm gonna
Furlough,
look
you
at
find the same thing about on the other side.
Fitz and I'm gonna go, you short human over here.
Short human? I'm a gnome.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm over here.
All right, so he climbs off of Sakapunto's shoulders and comes over to you.
I point at the thing I just found with the levers and stuff.
What do you want me to do?
Well, you would know more about this than I do,
Why would I know more about it?
because you're one of those smart people, aren't you? That knows about technology.
Well, yes, but I don't know anything about this panel. And he
Well, why
looks
don't you
at it and he's like,
pull
"Have you
some
tried pressing the
clips?
buttons? There's like 2 buttons on it."
I figured I'd let you do it.
I can't reach the panel. It's like kind of eye level with you.
I grab him and I hold him up so he can get there.
Okay. Well, which one should I press?
Your choice.
I'm not responsible for what happens here, he shouts across the whole room, and he presses the button.
Don't worry, Haverbeer's dead.
That's a good point. And then he presses the other button. Nothing happens.
Huh. Nothing happened, huh?
I'm gonna walk over to the panel that whatever his name is. The other guy, Furlough, thank you, is looking at. Why did I say my own character's name?
The name is on the screen.
Don't. Anyway, I'm gonna go over to that panel and I'm gonna look at Furlough and then look at the panel like as if I know what I'm looking at and just nod my head. Oh,
Meanwhile,
is it the
Lulu's
same thing?
Sorry, you cut out for a minute. What?
Oh, sorry. What do I see on the panel? Is it the same thing?
Same thing. A static screen with 2 buttons.
I'm going to push both buttons rapid fire over and over again.
Okay. All right. So click, 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 click. You keep pushing these buttons in, and nothing happens.
And I just nod knowingly.
And then you hear the voice boom over the room again. This is trapped like rats in a maze. You are so predictable.
Meanwhile, Lulu is going to be over at this door, trying to bash it with the hilt of the sword.
Okay. So as you go to bash it, you keep bashing it harder and harder, and nothing seems to touch it. You crack it and kind of shatter it, and it puts like spider web cracks through it, and then they just keep healing themselves.
I'm going to hold both buttons down very hard.
Okay. You hold them both down, and you hear a very faint little click sound.
Huh. I keep holding them down, and I look behind me at the other control panel and just to see what they're doing.
They're just standing there at this point. Fitz tried pushing both buttons, and nothing happened.
How's it
going over there, Sakapunto?
I say, I did something, and I...
Are you still... You're cutting in and out, sorry. You're still holding both buttons down?
Oh, sorry. Both buttons down, and I say, I did something.
Are you holding them down?
Yes.
All right, let me try. And he pushes both of them down also. And then as soon as he does, both the doors on both sides go, and they open up.
Hey, everybody, hurry! I keep holding the buttons down, though, while everybody does whatever they're going to do.
Okay.
Lulu is first to go.
I run to the door and I carry Fitz with me.
As soon as you run with Fitz on you, you let go of the buttons, the door slams shut again. So Kayron and Lulu made it through.
I try to throw Fitz through the door.
All right, let's see. Roll an acrobatics check. Actually, a strength check.
So now Fitz dies.
Strength. That's in skills, right?
Sorry, athletics.
Athletics. How do I do this? I
You just
push
roll
the button or do I
athletics.
drag it?
Either way, you can double click it or drag it. Okay. All right, so you throw Fitz across the room, and he goes flying, and the door slams shut just as he gets there. He hits the door and falls unconscious on the floor.
Oh no.
Beer would be proud.
Sakapuno, let's go. Sakapuno, let's go the buttons and goes over to pick Fitz up.
He's unconscious.
Oh, I hold him like a little kid.
Aw. you can tell he's still breathing, and he's kind of dreaming now.
Well, good job, idiot.
I cast. I feel bad. I cast. Let me. What I got. You can continue going on.
I'm gonna take.
Cast Cure Wounds on him at level
At level what?
1.
Okay, go ahead and do your roll.
Meanwhile, do I see anything on the other side of the door that closed?
So no, you're back in the normal corridor. You guys could see the corridor before it closed, and it looks pretty normal. You just got to keep going down it to go down that bend. Are you gonna wait for them, or are you gonna just forge ahead?
Well, Lulu definitely wants to give him a piece of his mind as soon as possible. And she might be stupid, but she's not so stupid to think that she probably has a good chance on her own.
Okay, how do I roll from the sheets?
What are you rolling for?
Cure Wounds.
Oh right. So you just go to ability or actions.
I'm there.
Okay, and then let's see, where's Cure Wounds? So hit that little magnifying glass next to Cure Wounds.
Okay.
And then you have a heal button. You can drag that over the person you want. Well, just hit it, because we're not really keeping track of the health inside the game. There you go. Is that 2 plus anything, or just 2?
It says 2 plus 3.
So 5?
Yeah, 5.
Alright, so you heal Fitz for 5, and kind of a light glows over him briefly, and then he slowly opens his eyes, and he's in Sakapunto's arms, and he just opens his eyes, and he looks up into your eyes, and he just says, "Dad?"
I look at Fitz. I go, you had a bad dream, so we figured we'd wake you up.
And then he suddenly snaps back to reality, and he's like, "Oh, Sakapunto, I'm sorry. And yeah, my bad dream was that you threw me into a door."
Sakapuno says, "It's okay. I used to have a goo son."
I say, well, what a weird dream to have. I go back to us from the panels.
He glares at you the way he glared at Beer.
All right, Sakapuno is going to turn to Furlough, and he's going to say, "How do we keep these doors open?"
We need to find something to keep the buttons stuck closed. Have anything sticky in your backpacks?
Oh, I have a candle.
That's sticky.
Well, we can melt it and then put it on the button so it helps to,
Ooh, that might be a good idea. Use the wax to hold it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might work.
Dagger, I could probably jam that in it. It's not like I ever use it.
Jam what in it? Sorry, you cut out again.
Oh, I have a dagger. Hold on.
A dagger.
There, that's better. I have a dagger I could jam in it. Maybe that would work.
I'm going to take a candle out of my inventory and I'm going to light it up and then I'm going to pour it in the buttons and try to hold it
Well,
down.
somebody could probably hold down one of the buttons as you pour the wax in it.
So as you guys are working on this, you suddenly hear like a rumbling, almost like the booming voice, but loud, but more intense, as everything starts to shake. Is it just like this rumble comes around the ring? It almost seems to come from this direction, and that it ripples through this whole station, and then kind of you hear a slam as it just like the sound just kind of comes to a sudden halt, and then the whole station vibrates, and then it stops.
I look at Furlough and I yell as loud as I can, "That's us coming for you!" What kind of check can I make to bluff him?
To Furlough?
I look at Furlough, but I yell that like up at the sky, I guess. Up at
Oh.
the yeah.
Okay, and then you hear the vibration come back over and the voice boom, and he just says, "Are you now? Well, my friend, come find me."
At this point, Lulu's like literally you can see her hesitating in place between waiting and or helping with this door here and also just pressing further.
So do we have any problems getting the candle wax stuck in the button and her dagger stuck in there?
You guys haven't tried yet, at least not that you told me.
Yeah, I just told you I was doing the candle thing
Oh,
into the.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but you
Hold on.
didn't tell me like what you do. You didn't say I melt the candle and stick it on the buttons or anything.
I'm gonna hold the button down. I said that's what I said. I think you just didn't hear me. I said I was
Oh,
pushing the
sorry.
button in and melting the wax inside of it.
Okay. And so you're just dripping wax onto it, or are you mashing the candle into it?
I'm dripping in the candle into it.
Okay. All right. So you drip wax over the buttons, and it starts to dry a little bit in place. And then what? You let go of the buttons.
Yeah.
All right. And you let go of the buttons, and the wax, the little bit of wax you dripped on it, shoots off. Some of it's still stuck to it, but the buttons aren't being held down.
I'm not cut little shivers off it. I'm gonna hold the button down and like shove them in there.
Okay. So you hold the buttons down. There's nowhere to shove the buttons or the wax like into. It's a pretty small like it's like a button on an Xbox controller. You know, it's like you can't really get a lot of wax between the button and the controller. And so you mash some wax on there, and the buttons still pop back up again.
Over by this control panel that I'm near, I want to hold one of the buttons down and then try to. No, actually, I'm not going to hold the button down. I'm just going to try to stab a dagger through the middle of the button and see if it holds it down.
Oh no. Okay. Go ahead and
So
roll
what?
me a go ahead and roll me a raw strength check. Okay. All right, so you jam this dagger right into the buttons, and these buttons are made of um, some kind of like plastic or something, and the dagger goes right through one of the buttons, but the panel that the button is on is made of some kind of metal, and so the dagger kind of goes partway into the hole where the button is, but not very far, and wedges itself in there.
I'm gonna hit mine with my mace.
Oh no! All right, roll me a strength check.
Just to be clear, I'm hitting the button with the mace really
Yeah,
hard.
it's a fucking mace though. You're hitting the whole control panel with it.
I only hit
Oh,
two. So.
You go to pull out your mace and then you go to swing it one-handed and it kind of slips and you hit the wall with it. Clank, and you shatter the Seinvolk wall, and then the spider webs as it shatters, and then it heals itself.
so is my dagger holding the button in? Like it's kind of jammed, stuck in there, I guess, in the middle of it?
Yeah, in the one button. There's two of them
All right. I think I only have one dagger.
though.
All right. Well, I have one button held down. We're 1 out of 4. Anybody else got anything?
Fitz just says, do we have anything that can boost me up? I will hold the buttons down while the rest of you go through, so at least there's a chance.
Oh, Fitz, you need to come with us. We don't know anything about Seinvolk.
I don't really know much either. Only how to maintain Tanith's systems. I learned most of what I know from that lab where we found Lulu.
So I would like you to look at my spell slot, third level. It says Spirit Guardian Chef. I'm trying to figure out what that does.
Spirit Guardians.
Can I just summon spirits?
I don't see anything called Spirit Guardians. Did I miss it?
It's in the third slot, third level.
How did I miss that? I didn't add it to your sheet, apparently. Spirit guardians. You call forth spirits to protect you. They flit around you to a distance of 15 feet for the duration. If you are good or neutral, their spectral form appears angelic or fey, your choice. If you are evil, they appear fiendish. When you cast this spell, you can designate any number of creatures you can see to be unaffected by it. An affected creature's speed is halved in the area, and when the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn, it starts its turn there. It must take a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 3d8 radiant damage. So this just damages creatures. So I don't know what you're trying to damage, unless you're trying to damage your friends.
No, I'm not doing that.
How big is it from like the button to the doorway? How long of the distance?
From your button to the doorway
Mhm.
closest to you, it's about 2 feet, maybe. It's right next to the doorway.
Okay, we just have to hold one button open.
Hmm?
I say we just have to hold one button open. I can summon these spirit weapons. I can stab both those repeatedly, and maybe we can get through.
No, these spirits, those spirits are not going to affect anything but creatures.
Yeah, this is a spirit weapon though.
Oh, spiritual weapon. Okay. Creating floating spectral weapon within range lasts for the duration. On a hit, the target takes force damage equal to 1d8 plus your spell casting. Okay. Uh, yeah, that might be overkill, so you might be risking damaging the panel, but sure.
All right, so I move over. Where's the map? Moving the map. All right, I'm gonna move over here. I'm gonna cast that and I'm gonna have it stab both those weapons at the same time.
Both the buttons on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What is its roll here?
Says it's D8.
Yeah, hit the target takes force damage equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So plus 3. So 1d8 plus 3. Let's see the weapon, and this is at using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher. The damage increases by 1d8 for every 2 slot levels of 2nd. Okay, spiritual weapons has 2 slots. So if you're casting at 3, you add 1 more d8.
Okay.
So I want you to roll. Yeah, just roll the damage for it. So roll 2d8 plus 3.
That's one that looks like a diamond, right?
Yes.
You want me to roll 2 of those?
Yes.
All right, that was 2 ones plus 3.
Okay. All right. So this do you want to describe the sword you conjure
It's a
or whatever
glowing
weapon?
golden hammer.
Okay. All right. And so this glowing golden hammer materializes and hits the panel. And it doesn't do very much, but it presses both buttons for a sec. Are you guys pressing the buttons on the other side, or just one
And
still?
I'm pushing the button
Ah,
on the other side.
Yep. And meanwhile, Furlough kind of sees what's going on, so he uses Find Familiar. So he summons a hawk and directs his hawk to press and hold the buttons with its talons.
Isn't find familiar? Doesn't that take time? Yeah, it takes an hour to channel. Takes time.
Didn't he already summon one before and I assumed that it was just falling around?
Did you? I don't remember you summoning
No.
something familiar before.
I thought he summoned a familiar to look for shenanigans.
You're thinking of Tomes and Toils.
No, you definitely summoned one. Remember when I went ahead with the 2 guys and he summoned it to
He
look for me?
he summoned one back when we had first had our first reset.
Oh right, and you saw the whatever you were, what animal you were running through the forest or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so that was like a hawk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So has that been with you the whole time then? That's your choice.
Does the spell last that long?
It's just
Yeah,
lasts as
it
long
lasts
as you
until
want.
the familiar dies.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it just goes into its own little pocket dimension until I bring it back out. So yeah, so I bring my hawk back out and have it hold the buttons.
Oh, it does? It goes into a pocket dimension?
Yep.
So you only have to resummon it then when it dies?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Alright, cool. I didn't know.
So as an action, you can temporarily dismiss your familiar. It disappears into a pocket dimension where it awaits your summons.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright, cool. So your hawk pops out then.
Yep.
And so right as you hit the other buttons with the mace and you're holding the other button down, Salem, the doors open up briefly, but they don't stay open because you only tapped the buttons with the weapon. But as you do, a large amount of water makes it through this doorway into this room before the door closes again.
Oh shit.
And now you guys are standing as it spreads out, it's probably only a few inches of water, but you could tell that the tube you came through was definitely flooded.
Well, we need to hold the buttons open, and we need to get out of here pretty quick.
Can I do one last look around the room to see if there's anything we can use to hold the buttons down?
Sure. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
It's this one.
Okay.
Eh.
So the room is pretty barren, but you do see that there is a little bit of Simvolk goo kind of. So on the floor, you can see that the stasis field that normally holds the Simvolk in place is kind of like on the fritz on the floor, right around here behind Freya. And it catches your eye as it kind of flickers a little bit, but you can see a little bit of the floor kind of just bubbling up as regular old Simvolk goo.
Oh, huh. I point out the goo to everybody else. I say, what if we use some of that?
Might work. Because
Yeah,
then once we get through the door, I can order my familiar to get off. I can dismiss my familiar, and that will remove the pressure from the button here and close the doors behind us.
It's a good thing Lulu isn't going to see us do this.
We'll have to be
I like to
fast.
sneeze. Just kidding. Because you
Everybody
know how, like,
go-
apparently it's like when someone talks about you, you sneeze.
I usher everybody to go wait by the door that we need to go through.
Hey, we better go back. I'm kind of curious. What's this circle?
That's where they found the goo.
Oh, okay.
And so Fitz goes and runs over to the door then.
All right. So which?
Freya
So
doesn't.
is it? Which control panel is being held down by the hawk?
Which one did you send it to, Furlough? Which panel did you send the hawk to?
It's one of the ones over on my side, but I can also have it fly down to the other ones if we just wanted to stick.
Okay.
The
We
one
do
to
the
by
other
the
one.
door is the one I have my dagger stabbed into. So let's move the hawk to push both buttons down by the other one.
Can the hawk
All right.
push both buttons though? You gotta
Is it
convince me
big
on
enough?
that.
It has two talons. Why couldn't it reach out both talons?
Hawks are pretty dang big.
Can it fly in place and put both talons out? Because it seems like it. I guess.
Well, it's a panel, so can it just land there?
It's a panel on the wall. It's flat. It can't land on the wall.
Oh,
Oh. Hmm.
So I was picturing it pushing out its beak, but I'm guessing. I guess it could. Can it flap in place?
Yeah. I mean, hawks do that quite a bit with prey.
All right, fine. You convinced me. All right, so you send your hawk over, and he flaps in place, and
Flaps
pushes.
in place and presses down with its talons, so it's like flapping itself to keep
Okay.
pressure on.
And immediately, both doors fly open again, and water immediately begins gushing in through this side.
All right, everybody out.
I jump out.
Hey, I run in.
All right, so you guys run in, and who was holding the button on this side? Was it you, Sacapunto, or Furlough?
It was
The one that
her
wasn't
knife and then the
stabbed.
slime goo.
And then the slime goo. Okay. So as soon as the familiar lets go to try to head towards you, the door slams shut again, and your
And then I
familiar is now trapped
telepathically
inside.
dismiss the familiar or back into its pocket dimension.
Is that really how it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As long as it's within 100 feet of me, I can control it telepathically.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. And so you dismiss it, and it winks out of existence. I really wanted your familiar to die.
Not today, Satan.
All right. Okay. So you guys have made it out the other side, and the door closes, and then the voice booms across the corridor again, and he just says, "Well done. Dinner is ready and will be served when you arrive."
I turn to Furlough and I say, I don't want to eat his dinner. And I say it very angrily.
Well, I've got a sword sandwich for him when he's ready.
Lulu, I don't think you can eat a sword either.
We are past 9. Does anybody need to stop, or can we keep going? Or do you want to keep going?
Yeah, I've got like less than 8 hours before I have to be to work again.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
got an early morning.
Do you guys want to stop here then?
I think this makes
This
for
is a
good
good stopping point.
Yeah, that's why I figured I'd ask. Okay. All right, we'll pick it up here next time then.
Are we doing something next week, or are we taking next week off because of the holiday?
I don't have anything going on, but it's up to you guys.
Guess we'll figure it out when it gets closer.
Yeah.
Some shit's going down.
Maybe on like Thursday after Thanksgiving dinner, I'll post in the Discord so you guys can thumbs up it if you think you'll be able to make it.
Some shit is gonna go down. It seems like Lulu's gonna get a chance to do something about whoever's behind all this Simvolk shit.
Are we close to endgame? Is this like endgame content?
Maybe?
Yeah, it feels like endgame, like very quickly.
That's honestly up to you guys, for real.
I'm gonna get a nice. I think I have a chance of getting a really nice chance of getting a nice goose suit.
You guys do realize what's about to happen, though, right?
What's that?
None of you picked up on it. What did you pick up on, Furlough?
I'm guessing we're looking at a time shift pretty soon, just because of
there you go, because of the moon. Yeah. See, this is why it sucks when Furlough doesn't play. He picks up on all that stuff.
Because I'm anticipating we'll get to like just before some big reveal, and then suddenly we're gonna be back in that inn.
I mean,
Calling
maybe
it
you'll
now.
be back in the inn, but you do realize you're in Simvolk structures right now.
Yeah, but we're Simvolk structures until shit starts to explode. Then what happens?
You know, it'd be funny is if it happens, and then all of a sudden we're back at the bar with this huge ship. All of a sudden, it's just smushed right into the bar.
So far, the only thing you've seen explode are moons and planets, and the stations around them.
Yeah, and we are technically in a station around something.
Yeah, you're around a giant Simvolk structure constructed by Black Spider. I mean, I don't want to give away anything, but it's pretty reasonable to say that the structure survived all the time loops already.
Yeah, I was in it.
Yeah, but it hasn't survived us yet.
Yeah, that's true, and Salem was in it. Yeah, that's true. It hasn't survived you guys.
I mean, they have an army. We have a rainbow.
We have a rainbow. Oh my god, I gotta cut that clip out and put it on the soundboard. They have an army. We have a rainbow.
I'm wondering if we'll find Queen Vera here.
I don't know. Perhaps. You mean Queen Vera the robot?
No, like the real Queen Vera.
That's
Up first. I mean,
What was that? I actually didn't hear that.
What'd you say?
Off the wall plot twist. The black spider is actually Smitty.
Plot twist: Lulu's fetish is robots.
I thought it was Goo Girls.
Librarian robots.
I said Lulu, not Bunsen.
Jesus Christ.
Bunsen right now.
I gotta get one good fucking every episode.
Yeah, I won't hit it a bunch of times, but I had to hit it once.
So,
I really didn't.
I have a question. Do we have special sound effects for different types of roles? Like the double one on Havana's, and that should have a sound effect.
That's actually not a bad idea. I could put some sounds on the soundboard.
That way, like if anyone's listening, they automatically know if you got like a nat one or double nat one.
Well, I don't think you can make it automatic.
No, Chef would have to do it.
Wait, no, that Bunsen saying "fuck" that was your reaction to all the Seinvolk being stitched together. No.
Not buying it. Because you don't really shout out when you're like super sickened. You know?
I mean, you don't.
Well, I mean, usually it's more of a stunned silence.
Maybe for you.
Yes. And it is me who
Some
has
of
asked
us.
this question.
Because you
Well,
forget
that's
she is
possible.
never silent.
I'm very loud.
Anyway, we should probably get to the outro, right?
Yeah, we have recorded outro stuff now, so I'm not as worried about it. But thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you for episode 11. If you have any feedback for us, feel free to head over to chevcast.tv. You can find links to all of our different social media presences there. You can also email me at chev@chevcast.tv or chev@chevtech.io. Thanks, guys.
And remember,
Bye.
spay and neuter your
Bye.
pets.